Every summer, millions of families load up the cooler, head to the cookout, and watch the fireworks. And for lots of parents, that sounds wonderful. But if you got a child who covers their ears the second fireworks start, who spirals after eating poolside snacks, who's a completely different kid for days after the 4th of July, this holiday probably isn't the highlight of your summer. It's something you quietly dread. Here's what I want you to know right now. Your child's meltdown isn't a behavior problem. It isn't about being spoiled. It isn't about your parenting. It is a nervous system problem. And the research finally tells us exactly why it happens and what we can do about it. So this video is for parents who are exhausted from watching their child fall apart at events that are supposed to be fun, and who are ready to stop guessing and start understanding what's really happening inside the child's brain and body. So here's exactly what we're going to cover today. Why red dye number 40 does far more than cause a sugar rush, and why the science on this is more alarming than most parents realize. Why fireworks and sensory-heavy environments are a neurological event, not just an overstimulation issue. And how these two stresses hit the same system at the same time, creating more chaos in your child's nervous system, which wasn't built to handle it. Then why some kids fall apart at the fireworks shows while others love it, and what the difference actually is, and the path forward, what you can do starting right now to help your child genuinely regulate, not just survive. We see it every single summer. A parent comes in after 4th of July and saying to some version of the same thing. We had a great morning and then it just fell apart. Popsicles and sports drinks at the cookout, fireworks at 9 p.m., and within minutes, their child was screaming inconsolably and completely unreachable, with disrupted sleep and elevated behaviors lasting for days. And here's what surprises most families. When we explain it, nothing went wrong in the way they're thinking. A landmark Lancet randomized controlled trial found that artificial food colors significantly increase hyperactivity in children across all age groups, prompting the EU to require warning labels and the FDA to take additional action on Red 40 in 2025. And assessments confirm that dyes can cross the blood-brain barrier in developing children. That red popsicle at noon wasn't just sugar, it was a chemical priming the nervous system for overload hours before the fireworks ever started. So, what does red dye 40 actually do to our kids? Well, red dye 40 is the most widely used artificial food coloring in the US. And it's at every 4th of July party, popsicles, sports drinks, candy, ketchup, fruit snacks, favorite yogurt. Like I said, a landmark Lancet randomized controlled trial found artificial food colors significantly increase hyperactivity in children across all age groups, not just kids with ADHD, prompting the EU to require warning labels. A 2021 review confirmed artificial food colors can cross the blood-brain barrier and directly affect neural signaling in children whose nervous systems are still developing. Red 40 doesn't just cause hyperactivity, it triggers neuroinflammation, disrupts neurotransmitter function, and causes intestinal permeability, leaky gut. Now, roughly 80% of vagus nerve fibers carry information from the gut to the brain. So when Red 40 disrupts gut function, it directly disrupts nervous system regulation. This is not just a food issue, it's a neurological one. So why are those fireworks and sensory overload triggers meltdowns? Well, I want you to think of the autonomic nervous system like a traffic control system. In a well-regulated nervous system, sensory input flows smoothly. The brain filters what matters and dampens what doesn't. A 4th of July celebration is a full sensory assault. Fireworks at 150 plus decibels, fire engine sirens, crowds, flashing lights, smoke, heat, and a disrupted sleep schedule, all at once. And when the nervous system is already dysregulated, the gas pedal floored and the brake pedal barely working, that input creates a massive neurological traffic jam, and the child melts down, tries to escape, or shuts down completely. So common signs of sensory overload include covering ears of the fireworks, refusing to eat, aggression or cleanliness in crowds, emotional breakdown during or after the event, and sleep disruption for days afterwards. The meltdown isn't about the fireworks, it's about the nervous system already overwhelmed before the family left the house. The fireworks are just the final straw. So the perfect storm, why some kids react and others don't. 2 kids eat the same red popsicle. One is fine, the other spirals. 2 kids watch the same fireworks. One loves it, the other breaks down. The difference isn't willpower parenting, it's the nervous system. We call this the perfect storm. Prenatal stress, birth trauma, and early childhood stresses that accumulate and disrupt neurological development from the very beginning of life. Each layer, difficult delivery, early antibiotic use, chronic ear infections, colic, reflux, create subluxations, which are neurological interferences that disrupt the function, regulation, and adaptability of the nervous system. And subluxation leads to dysautonomia, an imbalance between the sympathetic gas pedal and the parasympathetic brake pedal that leaves a child without the neurological reserves to handle what other kids handle easily. Then management strategies can only go so far. If the nervous system has a hole in it, you can bail water all day and still be sinking. The real work happens at the foundation. So, I want to talk about the double assault. When chemical and sensory hit at the same time. So, red 40, loaded popsicles at noon, fireworks 150 decibels at 9 p.m., crowds and sirens in between, and a child who's walking to the party already running on a nervous system deficit. This is a double assault. Artificial dyes attack from the chemical side, disrupting the gut, triggering inflammation, compromising the gut-brain axis, sensory overload attacks from the neurological side, flooding the brainstem with input a dysregulated nervous system can't process. Both hit the same target, the autonomic nervous system and vagus nerve. And when they hit simultaneously, the combined effect is far greater than either one alone. And this is why so many parents say their child is a completely different kid for the days after the 4th of July. The nervous system is in a prolonged recovery state, not just a single bad night. So, the path forward is restoring nervous system regulation. Short-term strategies matter. Read labels and avoid red 40, yellow 5, and yellow 6. Bring noise-canceling headphones, have a quiet exit plan, protect sleep, but these only manage the load, they don't fix the foundation. And this is where the inside scanning technologies changes the conversation. Using HRV, surface EMG, and thermal scans, our neurologically focused chiropractor gets an objective, measurable picture of how the nervous system is actually functioning. Inside scans identify exactly where the nervous system is stuck in sympathetic overdrive, where vagus nerve function is impaired, and where subluxation patterns are creating interference. Now, neurologically focused chiropractic care is not a cure for any condition. It works to restore the underlying regulation that affects how children process their environment, and when the brake pedal begins working alongside the gas pedal, parents consistently see changes that go far beyond surviving a holiday. We're not just helping kids cope with their dysregulated nervous system. We're working to regulate the nervous system itself. When that foundation shifts, sleep, digestion, transitions, and sensory tolerance all shift with it. Now, if this is connecting dots you've been trying to piece together for months or even years, I want you to know your child isn't too sensitive. The nervous system is telling you exactly what it needs, and there is a path forward. It starts by getting an objective look at how the nervous system is actually functioning. So click the link in our bio, send us a DM to schedule with us at Vanella Chiropractic in Virginia Beach. This 4th of July, your family deserves more than survival mode. They deserve answers and a way forward.